episode, I'm going to attempt to repair this Panasonic DMR ES20 DVD recorder. It's an important component to my laserdisc setup in my home theater. Like many of you aficionados out there, I use the recorder's superior comb filter to improve the signal being passed into the television. The laserdisc player's composite signal is passed through the recorder, which then separates the luminance and the chrominance and ultimately feeds the television a sharper component signal. Now, before some of you accuse me of changing that laserdisc signal into something that it wasn't meant to be by changing that composite signal, take a look at this. This is video taken from one of my earlier posts. Actually, I think it was my first post, but as you can see between the two, with the Panasonic in the chain, you can read the numbers, there's less artifacts, it's just an overall much better picture. My love of all things laserdisc has nothing to do with this picture, which at best can provide about twice that of VHS. And for about 20 years, laserdisc was the best picture you could get in home theater. But today, if it's going to have a seat at the table with DVD, Blu-ray, Ultra HD, picture needs a boost. Alright, so keep in mind that this player does not upscale. High definition simply is not an option. It can do 480i and 480p, and that's it. My TV does a fair job of upscaling it to its native resolution. So, you may not need a DVD recorder in your chain because your TV just does a great job. My TV, on the other hand, not so much. Alright, so I watched Rambo First Blood, great laserdisc by the way, and it was working fine. Saturday morning I go in to pop in some cartoons for me and the kid, and this is what I was met with, the dreaded zero error. First and simplest thing to do was to unplug the unit, let it reset, and then restart it. That didn't work. So now what we're going to try and do is a hard reset by pressing and holding the power button. Here's crossing my fingers. So holding this for a few seconds should get us the clock. That's a good sign. And if I'm right, based on what I've read, hello should pop up shortly after this, I think. Yeah, there we go. But if we test some buttons here, something ain't right. It's not responding to anything. Alright. Okay, so I've already took the screws off. We're going to unplug the unit. There we go. Okay. So, a little bit of research online revealed that sometimes these capacitors can go bad in this model. Also, the PCB could go bad, specifically the chip underneath this heatsink. First thing I did was do a quick check of the capacitors that I could see. This bit large one here, that's just resin to hold the capacitor in, so it's not leaking, it's also flat. Since I have power, I'm assuming the fuse is okay. But if you can notice, you may not notice, the fan's not turning. It's plugged in, but this should always be going, and it's not. Checking these, I didn't see anything odd except for one. It's difficult to see, but this guy right here is actually bloated. So that means he's failing. The top is like a bubble. The rest of these are all flat. So he's definitely a problem. Now, having trouble getting to the chip. The underside of the board looks okay. I don't see any issues there. I don't know how to get this heatsink off to check. Okay, so the heatsink, even though I got the heatsink released, it seems to be glued onto the chip. I can see a layer of something in between there. Right now, I mean, I just wanted to take a look at the top of the chip. There's nothing underneath that would indicate it's gone bad. But since it's glued on there and I don't suspect the chip, right now I do have a smoking gun. It's that capacitor. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here, and hopefully replacing the capacitor will fix it. That guy right there is really hard to see, but he's bloated. The top is not flat like the rest of these guys are. But while I'm in here, I'll take a look at the rest of these just to be sure. And there's actually some recommendations online to replace 3 of these capacitors. So I've got to identify which ones and go from there. Okay, so I've got the capacitors marked here. This large one, this one, and this one. And this one's the bloated one again. So I get online, look for these. This one I'm definitely going to order. I don't have any indication that these are bad. I can't test them, obviously. From what I've read, it's nearly impossible to test capacitors in line because you can't test the resistance when they're plugged into everything else. But at any rate, he's definitely going bad, so I'm definitely going to get a new one, and we'll see if that doesn't fix the problem. All right, so we just pulled this out from the board, and we'll just kind of, just kidding. Okay, so this is the right way to do it. So capacitors do store charge. So based on what I've read on the interweb, take our voltmeter, set it to its highest reading. Okay. And I could just discharge this, but I kind of want to do this the right way if I can, and see if there's a charge in it. And I'm not even sure that'll be accurate since it's all connected. Okay, so the label on the next to the capacitor is C1400, and there's the C1400 nodes right there. I call them nodes. I don't know what the technical term is. And it doesn't matter which side is which. Okay, so I'm not getting anything. Nothing whatsoever. Let's just make sure I got the right setting. C1400. Okay. Nothing. Just for giggles, I'm going to check for continuity here. Yeah. Okay. Continuity. So it doesn't look like at this point there's a charge in there. But just to make sure, we're going to discharge it with a pair of insulated just to be sure. So we got C1400. Okay. Here's the new capacitor. The negative side is clearly indicated with this gray stripe, chevron, and negative signs on it. And it does matter which way it goes on the board. The board is marked. Try as I might, I was not able to fix this. This machine really did a great job of cleaning up my laserdisc picture. I replaced the other 2 capacitors, and for a brief moment that fan in the back came on, and I thought I had it fixed. I thought it was a great success. Shortly after, the fan stopped again, and now I hear a weird hum.
I did check to make sure that the negative, the negative terminal was lined up for all three of those caps. I've got them in there correctly. But there just seems to be something else really, really wrong with the board, and it could be the chip. Not sure. I tried resetting it after I got everything back together. That also didn't work. So we'll just have to chalk this up as a good try, but a no-go. And I'll have to find something new. Hope you enjoyed.